लाङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने। कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं कलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं। प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 11th chapter. Jadabharat is giving reply to Rahugana. He is telling that although you are speaking like a wise man, you are not so, because the wise never take the mistake between the spirit and matter. Further he says that whoever is engrossed in the ordinary dealings of this material world, those who are attached to the karmakanda activities of the Vedas, for them it is very difficult to understand the tattva, the spiritual truths. Further he says, just like when one realizes that whatever he has seen in the dream was false after he wakes up, in a similar manner, as long as one is not freed or one is not realized about, one has no realization that the material sense enjoyment is very insignificant, till that time he will, even though all the Vedic literature and scriptures put together will not be able to bring realization in him or bring the realization of the self in him. Means as long as one is attached to sense enjoyment, or as long as one has not realized that the sense enjoyment is so insignificant, till that time the scriptural injunctions or the knowledge about the Supreme cannot be awakened in him. यावन् मनो रजसा पुरुषस्य सत्वेन वा तमसा वा अनुरुद्धं चेतोभिराकुतिभिः रात्नोति निरंकुशं कुशलं वा. যাবৎ পুরুষের মন সত্ব রজঃ তমো গুণের অধীন থাকে তাবৎ তাহার মন মত্ত মাতঙ্গের ন্যায় স্বতন্ত্র হইয়া জ্ঞানেন্দ্রিয় ও কর্মেন্দ্রিয় দ্বারা পাপ পুণ্য ও মিশ্র কর্মের বিস্তার করে. In this verse, Jada Bharat is telling about the mind. Now, mind is the cause of bondage, and it is the mind which is the cause of liberation also. The mind, when it is controlled, then it becomes our friend. The uncontrolled or the unrestricted mind is our enemy. Enemy means that will make us suffer in this material world birth after birth. So we previously heard Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur said in the purport of the first verse that in this chapter we are going to hear about the function of the mind, how the mind is the cause of bondage, how the mind is, what you call, attracting the living entities towards the material things, and how the same mind, when engaged in remembrance of the Supreme Lord, will become the cause of liberation. So the first thing is why it is conditioned or how it is conditioned is explained in this verse. Javat Purushera man sattva-rajas tamo guner adhin thake. As long as the mind of the living entities is under the influence of the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion and ignorance, tavat tahar man matta matangirnai swatantra hoiya. Till that time the mind will completely become independent, just like a maddened elephant. A maddened elephant, when you want to control, you cannot control. It behaves totally independently. That is why you should, when elephant is intoxicated, very difficult to control. Even if you see a man when he is drunk, man is also drunk, it's very difficult to control him. Whatever he is telling, you have to accept, that's all. So, just like a maddened elephant or intoxicated elephant behaves independently, in a similar manner, the mind of the living entities, when it is influenced by three modes of material nature, it acts completely independently, means in an intoxicated state. Jnanendriya karmendriya dvara papa punya or mishra karmer vistar kore, and thus engages the knowledge acquiring senses and the working senses both in the material duties, thereby bringing good and bad results. Sometimes good activities, sometimes bad activities. So here you have to understand that the mind, when it is not controlled like a maddened elephant, then it is going to work fully independently. Mind is to be controlled. Mind is not to be left independent. The mind is not controlled. Prahlad Maharaj says to Hiranyakashipu, my dear father, your uncontrolled mind is your enemy. You are thinking Vishnu is your enemy or someone else is your enemy. But no, your unrestricted mind is your enemy. You think that you have won over the enemies outside you, but you have not won over your own internal enemy, that is the mind. The mind, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, is engaging the living entities in the performance of good and bad activities. How one is conditioned because the mind is uncontrolled. Our Param Gurudev, he gave one example that was seen literally, that was it is a real life incident that has happened. A man, drunkard, he drunk, and while walking on the road, because he cannot walk properly, he is drunk, he is walking, here and there, and then by disbalance he falls into a drainage. He couldn't balance himself, he fell into drainage, and he is lying inside the drainage. So there are so many, persons passing by. They saw that this fellow has fallen into the drainage where all, bad waters flow. Nobody would want to even go closer to the drainage, but this fellow has fallen into the drainage. So, hey, you are lying in the drainage, come outside. Then he is telling, I am Beshachi, I am very fine. Why? He is in an intoxicated state. Everyone is telling, come out. You are in a very filthy place. No, I am fine here. But how long will he say that I am fine? Till his intoxicated state is not finished. Once his intoxication is gone, the next day morning, oh, I was sleeping here, I should immediately go and take bath. He will immediately realize. In a similar manner, all of us, as long as we are conditioned in the filth of material world, I am very fine, I am very comfortable, no problem. But the moment we realize that this is actual problem, means a person who has transcended, he will immediately realize, oh, all this while I was wasting my time uselessly for all these things. But in the current intoxicated state, we are in an intoxicated state, and therefore we are engaging our working sense organs as well as the knowledge acquiring sense organs in the activities of pious and sinful in this material nature, in this material world. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, দেখুন এইরূপেই যদি হয় তাহা হইলে সাধুগণের দ্বারা প্রবোধিত হইয়াও প্রায় সমস্ত লোকেই বৈষয়িক সুখেই প্রবর্তিত হইতেছে, কি জন্য দেখা যায়? Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is putting a question that previously it is told that, as long as one does not realize that he is living in a dream, as long as one does not come out of the dream, he will not realize. In a similar manner, as long as one does not understand the insignificance of material things, he will not be able to realize, or the knowledge of Supreme will not be awakened in him. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is putting a question. There are so many sadhus, so many preachers of Krishna Bhakti, they are going everywhere, they are talking about the Supreme Lord's Tattva, the truths of the Supreme Lord. Why then still, people are engaged in material activities only? Just like if one is told that you are doing wrong, somebody is telling, sadhus are telling that, this is not right, this is not right. Why is still the, knowledge about the Supreme not awakened in the heart? Example, we have been hearing repeatedly from Guru, Vaishnavas, scriptures, but still we have not stopped our material duties. We still have not stopped our engagements in material activities or taking pleasure in the material activities. Why? What is the reason? তাতে বলিতেছেন যাবন মনো ইত্যাদি, জীবের মন যতকাল রজঃ প্রবৃত্তি গুণের দ্বারা অনুরুদ্ধ सम्यक रूपे बद्ध है तत्काल मन निरंकुश मत्त हस्तिर न्याय पुरुषेर कुशल अर्थात धर्म अथवा इतर अर्थात अधर्म विस्तार करिया थाके। The reason is, as long as one's mind is uncontrolled, or as long as one's mind is controlled by the three modes of material nature, so long it is like a maddened elephant. Like a maddened elephant does not listen to anyone's words, in a similar manner, the mind which is under the influence of three modes of material nature will not listen to the wise words. We are sitting in the Harikatha, we are hearing the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, but our mind, which is influenced by the three modes of material nature, is sometimes giving us good waves, sometimes giving us bad waves. Therefore, even though we are sitting, our mind is restlessly involved in thinking about the material pleasures only. In such a state, how can the knowledge about the Supreme penetrate inside our mind? It is not possible. So, thus, the living entity being influenced by the mind is sometimes performing pious activities or dharmic activities, sometimes he is performing impious activities or bad activities. তাহাতে বলিতেছেন চেতোভিহি জ্ঞানেন্দ্রিয় ও আকৃতিবিহি कर्मेंद्रियेर सहयोगे गुणमय मनई बलपूर्वक विवेकादिउ हरणपूर्वक पुण्य और पाप कर्मे प्रवर्तित करे इहाते पुरुषेर की दोष यही भाव। बिकॉज द माइंड व्हेन इट इज इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय थ्री मोड्स ऑफ मटेरियल नेचर, द माइंड विल नॉट लिसन टू इंटेलिजेंस ऑल्सो। द माइंड व्हेन इट इज अनरेस्ट्रिक्टेड, intelligence is superior to mind, isn't it? The what is that verse in Gita? Okay, suddenly I don't remember verses. So there it is says, Indriyani parani ahu, Indriyebhyo para manah, manasastu para buddhi, buddhistu para saha. The Lord is telling to Arjuna, Indriyani parani ahu, Indriyebhyo paro manah. Indriyas, the sense organs, are superior to matter. There is matter, sense organs are superior to matter. Why? Because matter cannot enjoy us. We can enjoy the matter through sense organs. Therefore, the sense organs are superior to the matter. Indriyabhyo paro manah. Mind is superior to the sense organs because it is the mind which dictates the sense organs. Go here, you will get this. Go there, you will get this. Don't go here, you will be, defamed. Or you will not get nice food, whatever. The sense organs are controlled by the mind. Mind is superior to the sense organs. Manasastu parabuddhi. Above the mind is intelligence. Why? It is the intelligence that has to control the mind always. Mind is a storehouse. Intelligence is one that triggers the storehouse or that should control the storehouse. Oh, this is good activity. This is bad activity. Do this or don't do this. If intelligence does not hold the rein of the horse mind, then it will become uncontrolled. Like the horses are there. The five sense organs are like the five sense organs. The five horses are like the five sense organs.
Legs.
Horses. They are like the five sense organs. And the rein that is controlling the five horses, you understand the rein? That is, that is the mind. That is the mind. And that mind is controlled by the intelligence, that is the one who is holding it. If the intelligence is not holding the rein, the horses will run in different directions. Therefore, it has to be controlled by intelligence. And in the chariot is sitting the passenger, that is the Atma, that is the soul, and the chariot itself is the body. In Bhagavad Gita, it is compared like this: the chariot is the body, the one sitting in the chariot, the passenger, is the soul, Atma. The one who is controlling the horses is the intelligence. The rope or the noose or the rein that is, tying the horses is the mind, and the horses are like the sense organs. Manasastu parabuddhi, intelligence is superior to the mind. If that intelligence does not dictate the mind, then sense organs will completely be under, there will be no control over the sense organs. If the 5 horses in the chariot are running in 5 different directions, what will be the state of the passenger or the one sitting in the chariot? What will be the state? Chaos, total chaos, and total, loss, completely destruction, complete destruction. Therefore, the horses are to be controlled by the mind is to be controlled by the intelligence. Now, here he is telling that even though the sadhus are giving intelligence, still when the mind is influenced by the 3 modes of material nature, all the wise words of the sadhus will have no influence, because the mind is so strong. The mind wants to enjoy, and intelligence has been dominated by the mind because of the influence of 3 modes of material nature on the mind. Therefore, it is told, ihate purusher kidosh, and people are there thus engaged forcefully, prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasah. All the living entities are engaged forcefully by the 3 modes of material nature. All the living entities, they are working by the influence of the 3 modes of material nature. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani. The 3 modes are controlling the living entities. So, as long as we are controlled by the 3 modes of material nature, or as long as the mind is controlled by 3 modes of material nature, no wise words and intelligence can really have influence on that person. Therefore, people are engaged in the all kinds of sinful and pious activities, thus bringing upon sometimes happiness, sometimes distress. Sa vasanatma विषयोपरक्तो गुणप्रवाहो विकृतः षोडशात्मा बिभ्रत् नामभि रूपभेद मंतर्बहिष्वंच पुरैस्तनोति. पाप पुण्यादि कामनापूर्ण बोलियाई से मन काम क्रोधादि विकारग्रस्त होइया विषये आसक्त ओ माइक सत्व रज ओ तमोगुण द्वारा चालित है. सो when the mind is attached, or one is attached to the sense enjoyment, the living entity is engaged in papa and punya, in pious or sinful activities. Seiman kama krodhadi vikaragrastha hoya. And now the mind will be sometimes kama, lusty desire, sometimes krodha, anger, because these things are influenced by 3 modes of material nature. When the mind is under the control of 3 modes of material nature, sometimes lust, sometimes greed, sometimes anger, sometimes hatred, sometimes violence. All these things are coming as long as the mind is influenced by the three modes of material nature, and thus the mind is driven by the three modes of material nature. Driven means completely controlled. Like a driver is there, he is controlling the bus, he is controlling the car, it is totally under his control. In a similar manner, the mind is totally under the control of the three modes of material nature because of a person's getting attracted to performance of pious and sinful activities. एकादशेन्द्रिय ओ पंचमहाभूत এই षोडश कलार मध्ये मन प्रधान. We have 11 sense organs, 5 working and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. And the 5 Mahabhutas means earth, water, fire, air, ether, and mind. There are 16 elements. 5 knowledge acquiring senses means the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. These are the 5 knowledge acquiring senses. Through these 5 we acquire knowledge by seeing, by hearing, by tasting, by smelling, by touching. We understand the, whether it is hot or cold, whether it is sweet or sour, whether it is hard or all these things we understand by these 5 knowledge acquiring sense organs. We acquire knowledge by this. And there are 5 working sense organs: the hands, the legs, the tongue, and these are the anus and the genitals. These are the 5 working sense organs. So, and there is mind. Mind is also considered as a sense organ. So, Ekadasha Indriya, 11 sense organs, and Pancha Mahabhuta: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So, together there are 16 elements. Among these, mind is foremost. The principal element is mind, because mind can control the 5 working sense organs, the 5 knowledge acquiring senses, as well as the 5 material elements. এই মনই পৃথক পৃথক নামের সহিত দেব তির্যগাদি বিভিন্ন দেহ ধারণ করে. This mind designates itself with various bodies, and thus sometimes the living entity moves to demigods, sometimes he becomes animals, sometimes humans, sometimes insects. Because of the mind's material designation, the living entity thus travels from one species to other and takes the name. I am a bird, I am a human, I am a man, I am a woman. All these are accepted due to the mind only. দেহ ধারণ জন্যই তাহার উৎকৃষ্টত্ব ও নিকৃষ্টত্ব প্রকাশ পাইয়া থাকে. And because of the acceptance of various kinds of body, even called as superior or inferior. Humans are superior because that kind of body they have got, and the other living creatures like animals, insects, etc., they are inferior. So all these things is because of the mind being influenced by the 3 modes of material nature. So what Bharat is telling is that as long as the mind is attached to the lusty desires, as long as the mind is influenced with 3 modes of material nature, there are going to be lusty desires, there are going to be greed, there is going to be anger. Sometimes he becomes demigod, sometimes becomes human, sometimes becomes demon. In this manner he moves from one body to the other. Kabu swarge uthaye, kabu narake dubaye. Sometimes he is going to heaven, sometimes he is going to hell. In this manner the living entity is traversing from one body to the other. Reason? Mind is controlled by the 3 modes of material nature. That is the reason. Because we say my bad activities are the cause of my getting a superior body, inferior body. What is making you perform that bad activity? Mind. Why the mind? Because it is influenced by three modes of material nature. So, as long as one is influenced by three modes, he is going to travel through this material universe repeatedly without able to get out of it ever. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, तारपर से ही वासनात्मा अर्थात पुण्य पाप वासनायुक्त आत्मा बोलते मन विषयेर द्वारा अनिरुद्ध है अनुविद्ध है अतएव गुण प्रवाह सत्व प्रवृत्ति गुण द्वारा इतस्तुत चालित होइया विकृत कामादि परिणाम युक्त है. So thus the mind being attached to the performance of good and bad activities, he is constantly troubled in this material world, and the three modes of material nature is making the mind just like, have you played caroms ever? Caroms? Did you play caroms? No? Carom? No. We don't have caroms. Small board is there and small coins are there. With the striker it is. Yes. You have seen billiards? Okay. In Russia there is billiards, right? In German also. So billiards, what they do, this person is pushing the ball from one direction, it is touching this corner, that corner, this corner, that corner, again getting settled. They know because they calculate. Yeah, they know. But I am telling that, just like a ball is like, is running from this corner to that corner of the board, and another person is again striking and he is moving from one corner to another corner. In a similar manner, the three modes of material nature is playing with us like this. Billiards board, pushing us this side, that side, this side, that side. Constantly we are getting troubled by three modes of material nature. Why? Because of our attachment to performance of good and bad activities. षोडशात्मा जितेंद्रिय शकलेर मध्य मुख्य जे मन अर्थात षोडश कला बोलिते पंचभूत पंच ज्ञानेन्द्रिय पंच कर्मेंद्रिय एवं मन इहादेर मध्य मनई प्रधान बोलिया सेई मनई रूप विशेष अर्थात देव तिर्यगादि शरीर भेद धारण पूर्वक से देहेर उत्कृष्टत्व और निकृष्टत्व हेतु आत्मा उत्कृष्टत्व और निकृष्टत्व प्रकाश करे. दिस माइंड thus being influenced, because why mind? Mind is the principal element. The principal element among the 16, the sense organs and the, the Pancha Mahabhuta, the five material elements. Among all these 16, mind is the principal element. Mind is the principal element. Therefore, because of the mind only, we are traversing from one body to the other, and the mind is identifying itself with that particular body, and therefore I say, oh, I am a demigod, I am a man, I am a woman. In this manner we say, because the mind is, conditioned in this manner. It is the principal element, and the mind is identifying itself with that particular body. Namabihi ei sthale visargir. Okay, this is from the grammar. It's being explained. Dukkham. Oh, time is up. Any questions you have? No questions? Okay, we'll just go through the translation of next verse and then stop. Dukkham sukham व्यतिरिक्तं च तीव्रं कलोपपन्नं फलम् आव्यनक्ति आलिंग्य मायारचितान्तरात्मा स्वदेहिनं संसृति चक्रकूटः. Maya Rachitaman দেহি জীবকে আলিঙ্গন করিয়া সংসার চক্রে নিষ্পেষিত করে এবং সুখ দুঃখ মোহ ও পাপ পুণ্যাদি কর্মের কালোচিত দুর্নিবার ফলসমূহকে সর্বতোভাবে সৃষ্টি করিয়া থাকে। সো the mind, which is a creation of matter, mind is not spiritual, mind is a matter. So Maya Rachita Man, that mind which is created by Maya, Dehi Jeev ke Alingan Kuriya, it embraces the Jiva, the living entity. Means the living entity is covered by the Maya, influenced by the mind, which is itself influenced by Maya. And Sansar Chakre Nishpeshita Kore, and thus is grinding in this material cycle. In the cycle, like I don't know if you used to use previously or not, in India there used to be grinding mortars. You had grinding mortars in the stone. We used to grind either paste, previous times, either paste or powder. So it is rotating like this, and the one which is put inside the the what you call bowl or the hole, that is being ground, it's being crushed. So the mind is thus, the mind identifying with itself with various bodies and making the living entity perform good and bad activities, is thus crushing the living entities in this manner. And sukha dukkha moha o papa punyadi karmer kalojita durnivara phalasamohake, and because of the performance of activities, sometimes is getting good reactions, sometimes is getting bad reactions, sometimes is getting deluded, sometimes infatuated. In this manner, the mind is always influencing the living entity. Although we heard that the Atma is superior, means intelligence is superior to mind. Manasastu para buddhi, buddhischa para sah. Sah means the Atma. So Atma is superior to intelligence. If you see among all these things, Atma is the superior element. But the mind, which is material, is even influencing the Atma. Why? Because the mind is under the control of the three modes of material nature. Therefore, even though the living entity is superior to the mind, how Maya has made this mind control our repeated birth and death, all these things. This is being explained. It's very difficult to understand the mind. As we heard previously, he is going to tell in this chapter how mind is the cause of bondage. Living entity is bounded in this material world because of the mind, and because the mind is basically influenced by three modes of material nature, it is happening. We will continue tomorrow. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। परमाराधितम पतित पावन स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्तिवल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्टोम विष्णुपाद प्रवंश स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्तिदयित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री श्री रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। सपरिकर श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन श्री श्री राधा गोविंद श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ जीव की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय। श्री सुखदेव गोस्वामी एवं परीक्षित महाराज की जय। जय श्री श्री जड़ भरत की जय। जय श्री श्री रघुगण राजा की जय। श्री चातुर्मास्य व्रत की जय। व्रत पालन करी भक्तवृंद की जय। जय श्री भागवत श्रवणकारी भक्तवृंद की जय। हरिनाम प्रभु की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे।